Good morning, traders, and welcome to the live trading webinar today with JTrader, stocks trader. He will be coming in shortly. He's finishing up his room, and then he will be presenting and trading live here. Small caps, large caps. You guys know the drill with JTrader. So you know who he is. We've had him here for a number of years now. He has a lot of experience trading and very specific ways of trading stocks that we'll learn all about during the webinar. He also offers mentorship and education. So I'll put these into the chat if you want to reach out to him. You've got his email and his Twitter, his YouTube, his website, etc. I got to go through the disclosures here, and then we'll jump in and we'll go through the general market while we're waiting for Joseph, and I'll go through the S&P E-mini. We do this every Wednesday, and then sets a nice tone or foundation for him to come in and look at very specific stocks. So, general disclosure. All Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in. Let's take a look at these markets. After the huge down day yesterday and the CPI data, here we go. We can see the kind of low of the day here, 8 o'clock, right at the 8 o'clock hour, East Coast time here. And then everything just a bit of a bounce here, still in a downtrend. As you guys can see, even this quick move here, 9:30 to the downside, to the upside. It has not come back up into these highs up here. Look at the 39.80 up here, and now also 72.5 here. So in terms of liquidity, just marking up the day here, looking at price levels. Where are the sellers? They're here. They traded at this 67 level, and they're up here at the 80 level, and they have not traded up there, and quite a bit up there. All right, 455 contracts. On the downside here, well, just below the figure here at 39.50, we see some liquidity, which is the low of the cash session here. All right, you can see the profile here. I mean, kind of single distribution here, but a little wonky, a little bit of some low volume nodes in here as well. Anyway, nothing trending here yet at this point. All right, so let's zoom in a bit further and take a quick look. Lots of stops and icebergs here as well. So let me know if you have any questions. Anything also from yesterday. So good morning, JC. All right. No questions. Okay. All right, well, let's take a look here. We're gonna look at, God, you know, we haven't looked at our bigger picture in a long time, so let's do that and kind of drill down from there. Daily chart here on the left, the hourly chart in the middle, and the 15-minute on the right. You can see the down day here, but look at the up days here. Okay, so this was back in July and beginning of August, and then down in August, and then you know, here's our down day in September here. After coming back up here, guys, it's pretty beautiful structure here. You can see the you know, the breakout here, the retest, the continuation above this swing, which was kind of surprising, but up to this swing here. Okay, these are the same things we're looking for in order flow, even on sub-second levels, in fact. Okay, this is a daily chart. It is the same concepts. And same ideas, it's just higher time frame. It is an auction. That's why we're going over this simplistically. We don't have to get all detailed here with all sorts of different ways of looking at the market and Fibonacci's and Elliott waves and all these different things. It is about the auction on all time frames. It is order flow on all time frames. Just more orders and more participants. So anyway, above the swing here, it kind of went down and retested the little bounce out of here, come back down to this structure here. Beautiful. Okay, now bounces back up again, and then the down day. So everyone's like kind of, oh my god, look at that huge down day. Well, it has not even come back down here yet. It has not come back down into this what is this? Is a 38.99 level here, or 38.82 level here. Okay, that would be the next test on the downside into these wicks down here. If we look at the hourly, it would be down here. Okay, so looking for it, looking at the structure in here, like this consolidation and the breakout. We've come back and tested these wicks here on the hourly just this morning. Okay, it still has room to run here. Now we're going to be looking for different scenarios for which way the market might go based on the orders and the behavior of others. So we're going to be reading the order flow. All right, so 15-minute chart, here's the gap, the down day yesterday, and then you can see the kind of chop here. All right, so it's a bit of a bounce here due to some of these players down here. That's why it's bouncing. Okay, that's why we're seeing a little bit of a bounce in here. Okay, this is where it broke out from before. This is where there are stops down here. This is an area of consolidation, and then it trended away from that area. Now it's testing back to it and taking a pause. Will it go back into this area here is the question. All right, will it come back up and fill the gap where it left from up here? As you can see, huge gap. Right, so we look for gap fills, but we're going to have to get some something in the news and the order flow here to stimulate the trader's behavior to trade it back up here. All right, so let's jump in. Let's take a look at what's going on in here, boy, there's not much to take a look at this time. The move to the downside, 930. Just below the swing here. Okay, same concepts, guys, same ideas, just what we went through on that daily chart. Here it is here. Okay, a little consolidation, a bigger consolidation, a retest back to that area here, a bounce out of it, back up above here, back up into these areas up in here, this swing up here. Okay, and we're starting to understand market structure based on these price movements in here. All right, so this is a pretty nice strong move by the buyers in here. Okay, now we're going to start looking at who might be taking control of the market in specific areas. So that's a good area here. Let's just we're going to dim the heat map for a moment here. We want to understand where these big transactions are taking place in high liquidity, like right there. But we want to just look at the aggressors in here and the price movement. The context of the aggressors, okay, or the price structure here created by the orders, the transactions. So first we want to look at that market structure. Now we're going to look at the volume of transactions by the aggressors within that structure. Okay, so we see there's more buyers here than sellers. Sellers come back down and it just bounces off of where they broke out from right here. See, this is how the market works, right? We talked about bouncing off of areas in here. Well, it's doing it again, okay, on this smaller time frame for today. All right, so now we kind of made a mess here, so let's get rid of all that and let's take a look at this structure in here, because sellers did bring it back down and we're not finding quite enough buyers yet to bring it back up. Okay, but the overall in here, Okay, we talked about Wyckoff. We talked about distribution, accumulation. This to me looks like accumulation. I see more buyers than sellers in here. So I'm looking to see us come up. We're testing it right now at 70 here, and I think they've got enough here now on the buy side to break it. And let's see if we can get back up to 75 here. Okay, that's just based on what we see with volume and structure here. All right, so let's zoom in here. Let's take a look at the order flow. Are we going to get that break? This is just one scenario here. All right, now what are we looking for in the order flow? Well, we're looking for support on the bid like this underneath here. That's good. And we're looking for buyers up here around 70, enough to break it up into the first stop, which would be 72.5 here. Okay, now we haven't gotten up here yet. And now look at the sellers starting to come in. Okay, but we're still holding this structure in here. Okay, this is why we're looking at the smaller time frame structure. Okay, this is where the buyers came in. Here they are again. Okay, so we could even come back down here, reject, and come right back up here and then break out. Okay, second scenario here. Sellers down. Okay, so we're down to 65 here. Okay, secondary scenario here. More sellers here, no bounce, and then a drop down to 62, and then maybe down to about 60, 58, 60 here. Straight away, looking for that. Okay, straight away. Okay, if sellers push it through here, there's no buying, there's no bounce, and then we're gonna see sellers drop it right down into this liquidity here, and then maybe they can get down to 60. Okay, so there we go. Our second scenario is exactly what's playing out here. I think that would have been a little hard to play. You'd have to get in a little bit late after it's already starting to play that. I didn't really see anything in here to help out. We just saw some of the sellers come down here, and then they just dropped it really quickly here. Okay, so it's already traded to our level at 60, and it's already starting to bounce here. Okay, so now you can play pullbacks, and let's see what occurs here if we get more sellers around here, around 60 again. Boy, I'd like to see it pull back more, and it is.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Good, my friend. Check also your DM.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, or okay, hold on a minute.
I sent you a message as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on a minute here. Let me get
I don't know if it will work, but we can try.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let me get rid of my mug on here. Okay. Yeah, I should not be on there anyway. Sorry about that, Joseph. This is your show.
No problem, buddy.
So, all right, let's get you up and running here and share your screen. Okay. There we go. And let's pop it out. There we go. Okay. And so I don't know how you share your video, I guess in Discord here, Joseph, right?
Let's see if it's possible.
You should be
No,
able to.
I don't think I can do it. Says the video chat isn't available for more than 25 users.
No,
So
but for 25 it'll show.
strange because it doesn't allow me. Anyways, I thought this was like a funny idea.
Okay, well, we can talk later and try to get you set up. It would be nice to see you on here, and then get that reaction from you, and kind of see your body expressions, etc. Yeah.
All right. So, good morning, everybody. I want to start with the hottest stock of the day, which is BIF. We have a stock that it simply went this morning from $4 up until 6.80. We have a 27 million volume almost traded, 52% gap, market cap of 31 million. So it's a small cap, and 2.56 million of flow. So we're talking about a small float. This is a recent IPO. So we can look at the stock. And this is BIF, all right? The reason why it's up, sorry, traders, we can see over here. So publishes peer-reviewed results of high throughput flow cytometry used for evaluating long held in +1. If you go to check this news, okay, this is always part of my pre-market plan. We see that this is totally different from final endpoint met or phase 3 or FDA approval. So we have over here, all right, an update. The +1 paper presents our unique method for determining the health of an individual's lungs. All right. So this is what it is, but it's definitely not final endpoint met, phase 3, as we said, FDA approval. So when I have a news like this, I'm more on, I would say, on the news, looking for a pump and dump. The point that today we had on this stock, a micro float, an SSR, and a high volume. So the plan over here for me was simple. I was looking or for a pop and fill the gate to short, or on hold off open level, manipulation type 1 rip. Okay, so a long pattern. The first thing I started doing is evaluating over here the level of support resistances. This is the actual day on a daily chart. So we can start putting our levels. Of course, you should have done this already before. We can check out also now our intraday chart. And I'm going to put this. All right. And we can see this morning, this is the open, right? So we had the morning washout. We had a push over here to $6. And all morning, we had a $6 over here resistance. This was around 9.35. There we are. So then we'll go back over here to trade. So you can see, traders, that we had this level over here of resistance around 595. And then we had a push right away. This is stuffed. It came down, so it gave us a fake breakout over here. And it fell down to this area. Okay. So that's the point where it comes the A+ setup from the J lines. This is an engulfing bar. It's on a sidebar. It's also a fake washout. So we have 3 parameters, okay, 3 definition for this bar. It's a market where we have a lot of longs. So last week we spoke about stats. We made a little bit more research on the stats. Stock with high institutional brews for the last 3 months tend, if they hold open level after 1020, to close green on the day and give us an extension between 30 and 50% from the open for 85% of the stock, we say, reviewed.
Joseph, can you go over that one more time, please?
Yes. So the point is really understanding what are the longs and how we can get the best longs over here in the market. And the point over here for me is how now I can select the best longs. All right. For example, over here, we started like at the gate, and I started putting over here J-lines curl up, looking for the long, and we start looking only for long plays, besides a halt that I took on at a short that I took on that halt. And I started look over here with our app of S&P Trade, this filter. So it will really help a lot of traders. And I started looking for stocks between $1 and $15, but we can even put $20 over here. I started to look over here, gaps above 20%. So previous day close to the open level 20%. This doesn't mean the high of the pre-market, okay? This means traders what? This means the open level, okay? Open level. Then I start to evaluate what? The volume. I want to see something liquid. So I'm not really focusing on something less than 1 million because no liquidity, no trade for me. The second thing is close after the first 60 minutes above the open. I run even the stats for the first 50 minutes is basically the same. So if by 10:30 we hold open level and the institution is above 30%, okay, so you can see over here in the last 3 months, 85% close green on the day. Average extension from the open is 25%. So this means basically 20, 30, even 35%, we can have an extension. Average half day time, 12 o'clock. So remember, 85% of these stocks close green on the day. What does it mean? It means that on the stock with these characteristics, I'm not really looking to short after a certain hour. And I will be more inclined to, I would say, have a more bullish bias during the day. While everybody is short, I'm only looking for this stock over here, which is holding still the pre-market high, for long patterns. Bookmap was the way to go. Day plus setup we took today were buy long, was meta short, some scalp with yes. For the rest, no other major playbook setups. Also, sorry, SPRC long again, another small cap. So we really work with the longs today, right? Now, look over here how this stock moves. In a fraction of a second, it spiked from 625 until 650, just into this first liquidity over here area, 650. Okay. So I'm not ready over here still to take any more trades. We are creating over here descending triangle. So if we look at this picture over here, actually we can find more useful looking at this. So we have our breakout. Major push above the pre-market high, major now push above the high of day. This long over here, we call it manipulation type 1, which occurs in the first 50 minutes out of the gate. And this is a beautiful clear read for us. All morning, I'm saying over here, this is a stock too long. All morning. So despite over here the break, you can see the failures, the sellers over here coming in. There's no point for me to start shorting something like this also because it's SSR. So you cannot really short on the bid. We have only to wait for opportunities, again, to long on the support or on fake washouts.
Joseph, this is amazing. This is potentially, it seems like a very big change due to this quantitative data that you have now.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can back test until.
yeah,
Sorry.
you would have looked for the only thing that would have kept you from shorting this was the SSR, maybe pre your quantitative data.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you would have been looking for shorts. But
Exactly.
this is telling you something just totally opposite. And wow, what an edge! Uh, now go back to your trading strategies. Look for them. They're tried and true. You know they work. Look at the order flow, and you've got a really, really solid plan.
Exactly. So these are the stocks that we're having right now, Bruce, in this market, which are stocks micro float, high volume. Often they will be SSR. They're gonna trap both ways. So they're gonna trap over here on fake breakdowns. They're gonna trap over here on fake breakouts. And they're gonna trap more on fake breakouts. But it's not that after that you will have, one steady trend. Because on all these breakouts over here, we're having sellers, generally big hands, they were start like to unload. So it's very important to understand over here the price section and how the big hands work. Remember, they're going to use these breakouts level or also this main daily high of day levels, right? To unload their position.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they they have to use the stuff basically.
Yeah, they're of course want to see levels where there's high liquidity. So on that high liquidity, they can dump. Otherwise, if they dump over here on a support, what happens? That this will simply unwind like this. Instead, they want to dump over here on a, we say, pump. So they want to dump where there's a lot of liquidity form, and that liquidity will sustain their dump. So they're actually selling higher than selling over here.
Yeah, the mechanics are very different with the SSR.
Yeah, yeah. So look this over here, for example, if we zoom out, we can see the pump into the 680 level and then boom, wash. So this morning, if you look over here, we had this major long pattern. Now we're having another major long pattern at SPRC, exactly at this level over here. I already took the long this morning on SPRC, so we're gonna also bring it over here. You can see the high volume traders that we have over here in SPRC. I'm staying over here with the trend. I'm looking at 150, but it's not my idea over here to take a short. We're still propping. So we can see over here the buyers from 135 moving to 138. On daily chart, we have a main resistance 155. So what I'm doing over here is only staying with the long patterns. The only possible level that I'm looking for short would be 155. Or buyers over here 138, 139, 140. They've consolidated 140 traders. But here we are too late for a long. So the long that I took today was here. Also, we had another long setup over here. The first long setup was here. So just when you see the error, right? And now what we're waiting, only that 155 for a possible reversal short. It's an anime hold. We can see they're trying to sell into the support. Some liquidity 135, 136. This is still bullish, still making higher lows. So what we had over here is a fake washout, push and stuff. So for now, just continue to put higher lows. And until that 155, we're just waiting. We see this dip traders, but no main sellers for now. Holding this 137. Below 137, we can have a little wash until 134, 133. For now, holding. A second, in the meantime, buy off over here. So BIF came back into the range over here below the pre-market high. This is one of those stocks that can still trap over here. Show you that it's going to go below VWAP, which is this level over here. And then midday afternoon, push back up over here to 650, 670. So careful on these stocks. As I said, we are still above the open level by 1030. So be very careful. I don't suggest traders like beginners to short something like this. Pro traders can look to trade these on fake breakouts, on stuff after manipulation plays. But otherwise, simply try to avoid shorting stocks SSR, microfloat, high volume, which during the years I've seen like so many traders blowing up or having very big losses on these type of stocks.
Yeah, it's tricky with that SSR for the short.
Yeah, but it's also giving, I would say, I mean, this SSR gives so many good long opportunities. So what I'm looking over here is two possible scenarios. One would be the stuff 610. So we'll be looking this on Bookmap and on the chart to short. One instead would be the reclaim over here of the 6 consolidation and then rip to 640, 650. So we have two possible scenarios. This morning, the best trade that I took, this was a home run, was the morning reversal. So I got along exactly here. I saw the price, the sellers jumping in. And at a certain point, I saw this swash near the 550. And I started longing over here, 560. And then I guided this until the 590, this point, very fast. I recorded the trade. I was sharing my screen while I was trading this. So I covered this live. It was a very big read over here on the order flow, especially what I love, and we spoke about in the previous session, Bruce, is this V pattern that you can see over here. So we had this V right away over here. I found the bottom, and this was the first push, the first leg up.
Yep, nice one. Where is the V on the candlestick there?
All form in this bar.
Ah, okay.
So unless, we put maybe 5-10 second chart or a tick chart, maybe, a 33 or 133, we cannot really spot that using the 1 minute. So we only see this wick over here. All right, let's go back to the actual price action. Another V pattern over here, but this time we can see that we don't have that follow through to the upside. But it's the same thing. You see this engulfing bar, buddy?
Yep.
But it's a slow price action in this case. You see, it's a slow price action. So I'm not really longing into the J lines below the VWAP on this low volume. As I said, or 610 stuff short. And again, wouldn't be a short setup for beginner players because there is a lot of structure over here to understand on this manipulated stock, or consolidation above 6 and then waiting for volume too long for a squeeze. And in that case, I would really play on the risk reward ratio. So very slow pace over here. We have some good setups over here. This is one of the traders and mentoring student over here. So perfect trading this morning. And we can see, Bruce, how the J-lines worked over here. I mean, simply sick. I'm gonna put Bookmap up on this.
Yeah, that's your
A plus now.
yeah, A plus right there.
Here and here. Personally, I didn't take this morning meta. I called 2 trades. I missed it for a few seconds. This is a very good setup that we had on that stop for the unwind. Very fast, I would say reactive this morning meta. A lot of spikes over here. Tesla was simple like a nice trend. Just easy, clear trend over here. So we're gonna continue to follow SPRC if we're gonna have a short setups into 155. which is also daily level, previous high, daily resistance. BIFCAF, we're going to look for or the short 610 or consolidation, then long per squeeze. Over here, Tesla, no pattern over here. The main pattern, we had it exactly here. That's the first point. Then over here, we had some scalp tools. That's the second A plus setup over here. Then we had over here some scalp possibilities around 1045. Not looking to take these dips for now. So we'll continue to follow over here the price action.
There's a question or request to look at ADTX.
Yeah, was one of the main gappers this morning. This came from a reverse split. This morning, we can go on this. I'm just gonna point out over here this so you will understand. I don't need to explain where's the setup, but the A plus setup over here came here, exactly on this bar. So this is a beautiful setup on ADTX. I was not on this at the gate, so I didn't trade this. I want to see if Bookmap also gives the confirmation, okay? So let's wait this it loads. Let's check over here ADTX. I want to double check the stats on this. So ADTX. Again, another stock with SSR. In this case, it dumped. Came from a reverse split. Share float over here, so it has to be adjusted. So I believe it was 1 to 50 reverse split. Yes, 1 to 50. So over here, we should have like a 1 point, like a 1 million float, 1.2 million float, something like that. Actually 1.1 and something million float. Financial of this company are scary because this company has a cash of 800K and it's burning per month 800K. So they have no cash at all. That's the revenue, that's the negative net income. The rest of the plays over here, and we can see the gap stats. When we put a high volume, last 3 years, it closed 2 times green, 1 times red. But we can change this, and I'm gonna put, for example, 10%, and over here 1 million. Let's see if this changes. I believe yes. So we have 6 times this close red, so 66% on 9 gaps over here. An average high of daytime 10 o'clock. So let's bring Bookmap. So all explanation is good. Without timing means nothing. So over here, I already see the setup, just a pop and fill. That's our VWAP, okay? What I like over here is the resistance of the pre-market. The pop of the VWAP is 1. But then I also have the pop of the J lines. And when it fails, so on the first bar and the second bar, so basically 930, 931, I like to enter short. Over here, what we have is also this decent liquidity, okay? So they're like stacking over here the ask. It's a nice wash, so you can see how the seller jump in from the VWAP. This is one of the usual setup that I teach in my playbook and that we trade every single day. For example, even when we trade big caps or mid caps, right? It's very, very easy setup, especially often you will find in gap down plays on mid and big caps. So you're waiting for the pop, then you're using Bookmap over here for timing your entry. And this is exactly, 932, 933. So that pop is this. Once you start seeing over here a trend line break and the sellers, you jump in. This stock, as we said, is is actually a stock with no cash, reverse split, micro float. We're only looking over here for an unwind. Okay, so if you're looking to trade something like this, don't look for longing. Okay, don't look for long. Let's go back to buy off. All this, Bruce, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember a lot of these setups that they did traps to the upside. So this is a possible scenario. It's a possible scenario, sorry.
Yeah, how would you play that? Would you, because it's below all your moving averages there.
Yes, often, okay, I'm not saying this is the scenario, but often they have these consolidations below VWAP. So if you think that the majority of short sellers will join when they think the trend is cracked, right? When the trend is cracked, when we are below the pre-market high again, and when we are below the VWAP. And then what they do, they squeeze it, halt, and we have, short strapped. So that's a scenario. The other scenario is that instead we have a push to the 610. So if somebody, advanced or pro, is looking for a potential opportunity, what personally I will look for is a stuff into this area. Because in this area, we had really the shift between the supply over here and the demand before. So that's the key area, 610, 620.
All right. So do you ever just when you see maybe something on a very small time frame, like a break maybe the 9, and then trade it up to VWAP?
You mean that if I would enter over here long?
Yeah.
No, because we have a potential, we have overhead resistance, and there's always a potential over here that this washes until 530, 540 previous low. So I don't really want to get caught in something like this, Bruce. I mean, look over here, the sweep. Over here, I think like more than one stop loss triggered, and it simply washed. So I don't want something like that. In order for me to long, I will only wait for consolidation above 6 and then looking for that potential squeeze. Otherwise, no trade for me, at least not now.
Okay. Understood.
I prefer to stay on the, I would say, the low risk side of the game over here, especially these manipulated stocks. In 5 seconds, they can wash like $1. So I don't want to be caught in a probably down halt, just like SPRC did. Just now, look over here. You see that SPRC, this is what I was talking about. Look, these manipulated stock, what they're doing, right? So they're washing over here. And now they're back into their support, VWAP and J lines. This one is already 1, 2, 3 times. So I'm not trading this moment, my accounts, because I want to explain you this. But of course, I would have over here my 3 stocks that I'm following, the level 2, so the window for the orders using my hotkeys, and then looking to play using Bookmap levels. All right, that would be my screen.
Yeah, beauty. Oh, these stocks are so tricky.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to have a headache, trade small caps. Worse than futures, worse than crypto, worse than big caps and mid caps. I can guarantee you that. I was just talking yesterday with a trader, and he told me, Jay, you know what? I don't like really small caps. Too much confusion. I don't understand this counter trend. I mean, why you have to short when something is high? Why simple? I said trade. Now we're trading and it's doing much better with the big caps because, like Tesla, it found a direction today. It went that direction. Meta, it found a direction today. It went that direction. So they are much smoother and trendier when they establish a trend, and you just have to do trend following.
Yeah, instead these are very quick, strong moves, and then maybe it continues, maybe it just chops, and yeah,
Exactly.
it can be very, very tricky.
I mean, look, Bruce, we are looking at this. So it seems like this was 9:30. So it seems like it dies, right? It's holding 11:30, and then boom, comes back up. And this is a small cap. And then we had also others. I think we had this was even worse. This was even worse. And look, for example, VNet. So it looks like is down in the morning, open, and then boom, pushes midday. And then we have CMRA, another one. So this was yesterday. So what they do the morning traps over here. This is the morning open 9:30, comes back, seems like it dies. What happens? 2 to 30, boom, up 100% almost. And then day after, so this morning, we had a plan to short this. Simply day two dies.
Yeah, these are just heavily, heavily manipulated.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. It just looks like a lot of big players.
Yeah, and it's, I would say the normal agenda of the majority of these stocks.
Yeah, yeah. This is how
By
they.
day two, more than 80% are below the open level of day one. So this means something in the stats. Means don't hold these long.
Yeah, counting your money in the overnight session.
That's a breakdown. That's the reason why we don't want to long something like this. We were just explaining this. The sellers over here coming on the break of this support. So we're looking over here, this 572, 573. Once we break this 572, 573, wash. Again, sweep over here. Okay. So again, stop loss orders. Well, now this is not a long. Now this is the main support of the day for me. This area. But we're gonna look if we're gonna bounce from here or simply, I'm not short, I'm not holding personally this trade, this short. We're gonna see if we're gonna have a setup. Some support of 560. Could be even covers over here that are placing themselves on the bid.
I mean, Joseph, I mean, I'm just kind of speculating here, and I've been watching your webinars for I don't know how many years now, um, and consistently learning more and more. I mean, if these larger players on these small caps have their agenda, yeah, it makes sense that they're going to be finished, or try to get as high as they can around 10 to 10:30 East Coast time, and then just dump as much as they can. Try to attract people to still buy, and then just really just switch hands
Yeah.
in the order flow.
Yeah, some are players that are already long, maybe from previous days. Some can be back holders that, sorry, that maybe they're waiting for a gap and then a pop, an extension to unload their size. So they want to, get a higher price. But over here, there's clearly manipulation of the gate. This breakdown over here is really created in order for trapping short sellers, also to accumulating the longs that are stopping out. And what they're doing over here, they're absorbing. So whenever we watch at a gate for a low, and this morning I was really explaining this, Bruce, and really seemed like the picture perfect. You could see over here on a BIAF that at this 550, which is this level over here, 550, let's put some zoom, we are absorbing. And you can see over here, buyers, 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 buyers. And then what they did, they broke this support. Of course, in that moment, we don't know 100% if this will unwind or not. But once we see the price reclaiming again that level, retesting that level, and then starting to break that consolidation. And again, this is the bar for me to long. This is a normal engulfing bullish pattern. If you study traders, the candlesticks. I'm a big reader of the candlesticks, really help you, especially on this market. We have so many patterns every single day. So we can see over here, this is an on sidebar, right? And reclaim the J lines and then reclaims the VWAP and dip into the VWAP. I mean, that's a screaming long. That's a screaming long. And this was another one, this wash at the gate. So we had two scenarios over here where they are trapping both traders, both sides of the trades, the traders, bullish traders and bearish traders, so longs and shorts, and then they're squeezing it. And if they're buying over here 540, 550, maybe they have even a lower average from this pre-market. And then what happens over here? They start, this is halt. This is halt over here, 5 minutes. It opened 9:55 and 35, 38, if I remember. And on these pops, they start like selling 650, 660, 640. They start selling. And then over here, once they have, the last push, okay, over here, probably the other buyers, they're starting to push. And then the big ones start to unload over here more. Start to unload, 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 unload. And is this going to fill 100%? We don't know. We just know that open level, 10, 30 passed with our institution above 30%. This closes green on the day by 85% of the time in the last 3 months. Okay, so we're going to look for that pattern right now. For now, this is still a bearish mode. We need to respect over here the price action. This level that we set is the main support. This morning we had a trap over here below support and squeeze. Then we had a major other trap over here for this fake breakout and wash. So two major setups, right? Over here we had this, we can do it like this. This is the fake breakdown, and that's a fake breakout.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I think Bookmap can kind of expose some of that activity very, very nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. Over here, you can see the really the exchange, you know, from buyers to sellers. The shift over here, momentum, which I simply love it. And it's so clear once we have this. Tesla going to the highs again. So we have a runner in this case, ATXG, another recent IPO. Let's put a 4-hour chart. So we can see over here traders that, yeah, traded 15 million volumes on this day. Actually, on this day, sorry, 15 million volume. Recent IPO. I want to check the reason why this is moving up. So we're gonna go top list 1 second. And we're gonna put over here also. So we have also HKD. Careful on this. Remember, this is the stock that went what, 2,500% or something like that. Oh, let's put it over here, ATXG. We don't have over here any kind of stats because this is a recent IPO. No news I can see for now. So I wasn't really be looking to trade this short. Reason, we don't know why it's up. Should be up for a pump or a newsletter. We don't have any kind of key daily resistance areas here, just higher. And we're talking about the $32 or $40, not really looking to trade this short or long for now. So waiting on an ATXG, right? No clear over here levels, no clear plan. Also, we don't know the float, we don't know the institutional, so simply waiting on this one. Yeah, simply waiting on this. No volume for now on BIF, so we just have to wait. Watching at Tesla as well, but I'm not gonna take any trades for now on Tesla. All curl over here, making higher low, but we are still in this downtrend right now. We are below the VWAP, we are below the pre-market high. We're still above the, actually, sorry, we are just now below the open level. Starting to curl a little bit more, BIF. It's a nice price section over here. 304 top. Nice rejection. 304 over here.
Yeah, Tesla just it moves quite nicely. I mean, and consistently compared to some of those small caps.
Yeah. What a big trend.
And they're big moves.
Yeah. Tesla, Meta, Amazon, I believe the best stocks to trade in this market. Those are some of the stocks that I trade the most or almost every single day. So good liquidity. You know, I'm glad that we have that kind of market, this kind of market. So I put over here this morning my fibs, and we bounced from the 61% this morning. You can see I put the high over here 100% to the low over here at 265, and this morning we bounced. So reversal pattern, on this bar over here. So you see that breakdown right away, reclaim, dip, and push. Now we are above 300. So target expected is 306.
It seems though, like Joseph, like the mechanics of that of the small caps really keeps you in tune, like sharpens your skills tremendously, so that you really understand how these markets work.
Yeah,
And then applying that to a large cap is it's like slow motion.
absolutely. Trade small caps, you need, that, I mean, I would say the hottest stocks of the day. But trade small caps, you need, I would say, a lot of timing, speed, fast decision, be able to change bias fast. Because, on the stuff, on a fake washout, on a dip bounce, or on a rejection, you need to actually uh, be able to change the bias. And this is one of the hardest things to do for traders. How many times that, we start with the bias and then we cannot simply look at the evidence. We cannot simply think that we are wrong because we only have that idea in our mind. I remember a couple of days ago that a trader was telling me, Jay, if I only follow the strategy, purely as it is, if I only followed that playbook setup that he told me, my trading would be so much better. But instead, sometimes I come to the market, or in this case, often, he comes to the market with an idea, with a bias. And for me, the bias is, a double sword edge because um, it can help you sometimes, to form a thought. So to think, okay, where you have to be, what you have to be looking for. But then it also, I would say, not make you see completely different perspectives, and you may be not realizing that you're wrong. Okay, so be very careful, traders, to have a bias in the market. Follow more what your strategy is telling you. Follow more what the pattern is telling you, and the price section in this case, and the order flow more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I had a pretty bad webinar a few weeks ago. I had a bias on a much higher time frame, and every time, like the chart is screaming to you, but nope, you're holding on to your bias. And that really it's like, okay, wait a minute, take a step back, listen to what the orders are telling you, and follow that. You're just swimming against a really strong current otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, and it is normal, I mean, to form a bias. The most important thing is then, to be able to recognize when you're wrong
Yeah,
and looking for, the next opportunity, or, to change bias if we have to.
yeah. I mean, if the it's hard, like you said, these are the hardest things I think, in trading, but you have to let go of that.
Absolutely. So looking still at over here at BIF, doesn't have the high volume, very slow volume over here, slow motion for now, midday. So we're gonna see traders for who's gonna follow this during the day. If we're gonna have, this fail of the 560, 560, which is the main support, you can see over here, I trace it. So if we're gonna have this unwind, or if we're gonna have this and a reclaim and a push to the high of day again.
Okay, guys, get your questions in for Joseph. Joseph, do you want to explain SSR? Scott's asking.
Yes. So SSR is once we trigger minus 10% from the previous close, and we have in our, we can go even on the top list over here. I like to have over here a filter that tells me, as you can see over here, SSR on. So it means short sale restriction. And the SEC did this because when we have like, periods of high volatility and panic selling where everybody is trying to sell, and the stock will go minus 10% from the previous close, will trigger SSR. So what will happen? It will happen that everybody is still trying to short the bid or sell the bid in this case. So it will like really be a panic selling. They do this in order to prevent this kind of, I would say, deadly price action. So in order to, I would say, safeguard the market, safeguard the stock, so you cannot actually short the bid, you have to short the ask. All right, so you cannot short the left part of your book, you have to short the ask. They do this, as I said, in order to put like, a lock and prevent that a company will go, down 40, 50, 60% in a day, just in a couple of minutes. Because when a panic selling starts, then everybody will start selling and there won't be no end. In this case, it's a little bit better because short sellers can only jump on the ask, and they can take less advantage of this case scenario. Okay, so it's to prevent the speculation in these cases. So also a lot of these SSR on purpose in the morning. The company waits the SSR day to put out the news, or to create an environment the previous day to put out the news on SSR, so that on SSR, being that short sellers cannot jump on that bid, but on the ask, they will start manipulating and then, push it like this morning on BIF, push it like this morning on SPRC. So they're using this technique to squeeze essentially the traders. All right. SSR low volume instead is a good tool for shorting. SSR low volume. Over here, they're slowly buying on BIF. I believe also we have covers. So the reason why also this is bouncing, because we have short sellers covering over here. SPRC for now, a fast recap, is not a short nor a long at these prices. So we're only looking for this 150 now, daily resistance 150, 155 to short. This morning I was waiting for 155, so I'm not short over here, simply waiting. Tesla, big run in at the open, big run midday, both times on Jalen's perfect A+ setup. Resistance around 306, so we're going to look for those levels over there also as target. ADTX nothing, ATXG over here for now nothing. We're going to see if we're going to have a consolidation around 450, which is the Jalen's, the VWAP level area for a possible long. BIF, as we said, I'm not gonna long over here below 6. I'm only longing above 6 with consolidation. Or I'm looking for $6 stuff, $10 stuff for another unwind, or for who's short to recycle. As I said, this is a stock only for advanced and pro trader to short, not really for beginners. Okay, Bruce, any more questions?
Oh, sorry. I was muted there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was just saying about the there's no hidden orders. They're only estimated in Bookmap for stocks, but for futures, CME Group futures, we have MBO data from Rhythmic, and our stops and icebergs indicator package. We can know precisely about the iceberg activity for native icebergs, and just wondering if you have any comments here on the court ruling and Elon Musk and Twitter price.
Let's see, Twitter.
Guys, if you like this webinar, please subscribe to the channel and give us a like there. It's very helpful.
So that was a question about Twitter?
Yeah, I guess it's a fundamental play, and then looking at what the chart looks like to maybe support
Well,
that.
chart totally range over here. I'm more a technical trader than a fundamental trader. So what the trading strategy, that's the reason why I have a trading system. And when it tells me to trade, I'm going to trade it for now. I have no reason to trade this in this range between these two fib main levels. You can see I already traded them the previous days because I was monitoring this. And what I'm looking is a consolidation, in my case above 42, and then looking to long for this push, or only below 38, 39, a consolidation for that unwind. Into this range, I'm not really trading over here Twitter. This is the kind of price section that I look to trade. Only this kind of price section, not when something is in this area.
Okay. Yep. Understood.
All right, traders. So I think, Bruce, what do you think? We can wrap it up over here?
I think we can wrap it up, Joseph.
All right. So today, traders, we talk about the manipulation. Buy was a type manipulation 1. So the squeeze that we had, for example, below the VWAP and reclaiming the pre-market high. So study that. Study what happened on Bookmap, the absorption that we had in at the open. The second thing is Tesla. So study when we had the dips along with the VWAP. This was a good runner from 292 to 302 and then actually touched the 304. Study also ADTX, which was a morning pop and fill, and we can see those huge sellers over here jumping in. So topping over here 2850, 2750, and 27 ask. And then also we had SPRC, which is a very small cap, never got to our level 150, 155. So if something doesn't reach my level, even if I took borrows, because this is an hard to borrow stock, at least for many brokers, I'm not looking to trade it. So you need to have patience and really self-control in your trading. All right, so Bruce, I think that we covered the majority of the price action of today. Traders, again, gonna see you next Wednesday. Gonna be my last day last Wednesday, because then I will move to the States for 3 weeks and I will be invited Trader for Cause as a speaker. So hope to see a lot of you over there, because it's for charity. So, sorry, Bruce, if I have to do this, but it's for charity. So I think it's a good thing. And thank you, Bookmap. It's an incredible tool. So I'm really happy to spread the word about Bookmap and teach every single day Bookmap in the room. If you need help, reach out to me or Bruce. Write in the comments below, and see you next week. Thank you very much, traders.
Thank you, Joseph.